Hi guys, this is my level 2 ball workout. I think a ball is a really great and easy, cheap piece of equipment to have at home. And I'm just going to show you a nice little workout all over body style that we can do with yours at home. So let's start laying down. You're going to have your legs up on top of the ball. Now, if you have the ball in a little closer towards your bottom, this is going to be easier. So if you struggle with your balance, try that. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you're just going to roll the ball a little bit further away. So if you can, we're going to start with straight legs. Have your hands by your side for a bit of balance. We're going to inhale and then exhale, and we're going to start with bridging. So we're going to roll through the pelvis. We're going to squeeze the glutes, and we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling at the top. And then exhaling as we roll back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, just massaging that spine up and down, in and out of the mat. So exhaling up, squeezing the glutes as we roll, inhaling at the top, and then exhale and rolling back down. The thing I love about the ball with this one is that it challenges your balance and stability. And not only that, if you find that you're constantly tipping over one way, it probably means that one of your glutes is working more strongly than the other. So it really gets you to start evening out how you're using your glutes in your bridge, which is a really nice thing to notice with using the ball. So exhaling as we roll up and then rolling down. So if that's enough for you, you can stick with that level. Otherwise, if you want to challenge it a little more, we're going to lift the hands and you're going to balance on the back of your shoulders as you lift up. Still inhaling at the top and then still rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae. So this just gets a little bit more challenging for the balance. The glutes and the legs have to work a little harder. And we're also engaging our tummies, transverse abdominals, and then rolling back down. So we've got 4 to go. Exhaling as we roll up, inhaling at the top and then exhaling back down. All right, 3 more. Hopefully you're really feeling your glutes working by now. You probably feel your hamstrings as well. The more you can squeeze your bottom, the more we can make sure that you're using your glutes instead of your hamstrings and your lower back. So you've got 2 more here. And 1 more to go. And then rolling back down, really trying to articulate through the spine, trying to get 1 vertebrae down at a time so the tailbone's the last thing to come down. And then take the hands back down to the floor. We're going to need a bit of balance for this one. So we're going to do 5 more. We're going to roll up, but we're going to add a tuck of the legs. So really squeeze your bottom and bring the heels in and the ball towards your bottom and then push out. So we're going to do 4 more. 4, 3, feel the hammies now, 2 and 1, and then rolling the spine back down. So we're going to do 4 more of those and we're going to count backwards from 4 with our pulls in. So we're just going to do 4 this time. 4, 3, keeping the bottom engaged. This is a really nice strengthening exercise for the glutes, really toning and sculpting for the bottom, which is nice. We've got 3 more to go. 3 pumps on this one. So 3. You can press into the hands a little for balance if you like, or kind of lift the hands off if you want to challenge the balance a little more, or the arms off entirely if you really want to challenge your stability. I'll show you what that looks like on this one. So we've got 2, a little bit wobbly, and rolling down, and 1 last one and 1 last pump. So up we go, and pump it in, out, and then rolling down. Nice little wake up for the legs and the bottom. Roll the ball in towards your bottom and have your legs either side. If you've got a bigger ball like mine, you'll need to hold it a little bit with your toes as well. And then we're going to squeeze the legs together. So we're going to exhale and just squeeze the legs into the ball. Inhale, release. I'm laying here with a neutral spine. So that means there's a tiny little curve under my lower back. And I'm just squeezing my inner thighs as hard as I can into that ball. So it's an exhale and squeeze. And There's a little gentle connection of the transverse abdominals too while we're doing this. And we're going to do 5 more. Squeeze on the exhale. 3 to go. 3, 2, and one last one. All right, so now we've got those inner thighs fired up as well. We're going to lift the ball up. And I want you to try and balance it on your shins. So you can hold with your toes a little bit there as well. And we're going to stabilize that. So we're just going to hold the ball there with our legs in tabletop. Hands are going to come behind the head. And we're going to really challenge our stability in our abs here by balancing the ball while we do chest lift. So we're going to do 8 chest lifts. So we're going to exhale, looking towards the pelvis as we lift. And rolling back down, keeping that ball balanced. Exhaling as we curl up, drawing the ribs down towards the hips, hollowing out the belly, and then rolling back down. And this is 3, exhaling as we go up. Inhaling as we come back down. So we've got 5 to go. Exhaling up. And inhaling down. Keep an eye on your ball, make sure that you're keeping it nice and stable. Exhaling up. You should get to the point where your shoulders are just sort of lifting off the mat there. And then rolling back down. 2 to go. Exhale. Inhale. And last one. Exhale. And inhale. All right, so we're going to take the ball back between the legs. This one's got a few levels, so I want you to try first pressing your spine into the mat. So we're working in an imprint here. I like to protect the lower back with this one and really turn on the core quite strong because it is a hard one. Have the hands there for a little bit of support, and we're going to actually lift the ball and the knees up towards our chest. And if that's enough for you, you can just go ahead and place it back down on the ground and lift back up. Try and keep your lower back in contact with the mat. We don't want the back to be lifting or arching up. That's an indicator that your ball might be a little bit too heavy or we need to work a little bit more on the core. So step 2, if that's enough or you want a little more, you're going to be pressing the ball out. So we're going to exhale, inhale. Remember, if this is too much for you, you can just be putting the ball on the ground and picking it back up again. This is the sort of more advanced level. Exhale, inhale. And we're going to do 4 more like this. 4, 3, keeping your belly drawing in nice and firm. 2, one last one, and there we go. All right, now lift the ball up. We don't get a break just yet, and have the hands supporting it as well. Now we're going to take the opposite arm and leg, and we're going to reach long. Tapping the floor, and then coming back up, and swapping sides. So we're balancing that ball, using our core, and reaching the opposite arm and leg long. And breathe. So exhale, inhale to come back up. Exhale, inhale to come back up. We've got 8 to go. So 8, 7, keep the arms and legs as long as you possibly can. 5, 4, 3, nice and strong through the core. And last one, beautiful, and relax for a second. We're going to roll up. I'm going to do a little bit in a different position. We're going to get into a few different positions on the ball. There's so much we can do with these. So have your hands just sort of resting on the ball there and on your knees. Make sure you're on a nice comfy mat or something because this one does put a little pressure on the knees. So we're going to push forwards and allow our elbows to come into contact with the ball. And as we're doing that, we're opening up through the front of the hips, using our bellies and our glutes to really support our body there. So it's an exhale out and an inhale in. And an exhale out and an inhale in. Sometimes you need to readjust a little bit with the ball, so feel free to readjust your posture every couple if you need to. Pressing out. Try not to let the bottom sag too close towards the floor. You still want to really engage through the abdominals and your glutes to make sure that your posture stays in a really nice plank sort of position, and that the shoulders are drawing away from your ears, that you're not letting the shoulders creep up towards your ears. So we're going to do 4 more. 4 and 3. Should be feeling it similarly to how you do planks on the floor. 2, 1 last one. Excellent. And then we're going to come up and over the top of the ball. So press your feet out and bring your hands down to the floor. So this one's a little bit of core, a little bit of glutes, a little bit of balance. So we're going to lift opposite arm and leg and reach long away from your center. Reaching the fingertips and the leg long. So still engage your tummy so that you can balance. And your fingertips and your toes of opposite arm and leg are still touching the floor so that you can balance there. But it will still challenge you. And it's not about the height of the arm and leg. So if you lift your arm too high, you'll feel your shoulder kind of hitch up around your ear, and we don't want that. So we're keeping the shoulder away from the ear, and we're just reaching the fingertips long. This one's more about the control and the balance than it is about the height that you get with the arm and the leg. So we're going to do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to go for some height with the legs. So just bring your hands forward until your toes are just kind of reaching up off the floor. You're going to engage the glutes, draw the shoulders down towards the hips, squeeze your bottom, lift both legs up, and then tap the toes down to the floor. Exhale up, inhale lower. And this is where you can really squeeze the bottom, go for height, and keep the ball nice and still. It shouldn't be rocking forwards or back. Squeezing your bottom for that lift and then lowering down. We've got 5 to go. And 4. Try not to let your shoulders start to creep up, be mindful of those. 3. 2 more. Feel the bottom burning, really stretch through the legs, and lower. Now we've got a little bit just for the arms, so keep walking forwards until your hips are just supported by the ball there and the legs are long. And we're just going to reach out through one arm. So again, not lifting high, but we're taking all of our weight onto one arm. You can feel just a really little weight shift side to side. That's normal. But the more you try and keep your body in its center, the more you'll challenge your balance. So the more you resist that weight shift and keep the body center, the harder you're going to work. And it is another challenge, again, for the balance. So much work that we do on the ball challenges our balance and stability, and that's another reason why I love it. It creates that unstable surface for us to work with. So we're going to do 1 more to each side. And last one. And then just take yourself out 1 more step further. And we're going to do some little push-ups. These are a great way to train for push-ups as well if you're trying to build your strength. So I need to come just a little bit further forward. And then we're going to bend the elbows back towards the ball, lower the body down, and let the elbows kind of kiss the mat, and then push back up. Now again, the further out you are, the harder this is going to be, because obviously the more weight you're taking into the arms. So if you have the ball further back towards your legs, if you crawl out a little bit further, you're going to make it harder. So depending on your strength, you can really pick your level here. And if you're finding it a little bit more challenging, you can bring the ball closer towards your hips like I've got it here. So we're going to do 4 more, bending the elbows down and pressing back up. If you don't feel it working through the arms, I suggest you walk out just a little bit further. Try and keep your shoulders really strong though, so that you're not kind of sinking down into the arms. That's probably a sign you've gone too far. And now I've lost count. So let's do 1 more for good luck. And then we're going to walk it back in. Time for a little bit more core. There's a lot of core in this one. It tends to happen when you're working with an unstable surface. So we're going to just sink the bottom and walk towards the end of the mat, tucking the bottom under. Hands come behind your head, and then keep the ball still as we inhale and bend over the ball. I love this as an opener for the upper back, and then exhale, and we're coming into our chest lift. So we're going to inhale to open. We're going to do 10 of these. Exhale to come up into chest lift. Now you'll notice that the ball isn't really moving. I'm moving around the ball. And that's really important, because if the ball moves, it suddenly becomes a whole lot easier and you're not actually doing a whole lot. So try and make sure your ball is still and you're curving around the ball and doing the work. And this will make us halfway. So we've got 5 to go. And curling up. And down. 4 left. Hopefully you're feeling this in the abdominals. It's a really beautiful stretch down here at the bottom as well. 3 left. And you can come up as high as you like or feel comfortable. This is another one that's really easily adjustable. And last one. Alright, and let's just hang out down the bottom here and have a quick little stretch and a breath into the abdominals. If you're a little bit more flexible and you feel comfortable, you can actually have your hands onto the ground here as we stretch. Inhale, nice big stretch through the belly. Try and take a breath into the tummy there. And then slowly bend the knees and come back. Hands behind the head to support the neck. And then rolling up. Okay, so we're going to be sitting on the ball now. And the hands come to the shoulders, so across the chest. And we're going to exhale and we're going to just twist to the side. So while you're doing this, I want you to think about your obliques. So that's these muscles down the side here. And I want you to feel those wrapping as if you were kind of wringing out a sponge as your torso. And it's really important that as you twist, you're trying to grow taller through the torso so that you're not sinking down to the side, that you're actually lifting and twisting. And in just a moment, we're going to add a leg to make this balance a little bit more challenging. So we're going to exhale, go to the side, lift, extend, bend, lower. And then the other side. So twist, lift, extend, bend, lower. If your balance isn't so good, that's okay. You can still do this without the leg, or just try lifting the heel up to start with. So twist on the exhale and lower. Trying to keep the ball as stable as possible so that we're not getting any movement through there. And twist. Hopefully you can feel some action happening through the abdominals. And that's why I like to do this with the hands on the shoulders. Sometimes if we do it with the arms out, we get a lot of movement through the arms, but not a lot through the core. So really try and twist your torso. That is what's going to tap in to the obliques. So other side. And again, 1 more to each side. Twist. And last one. Twist. Alright, so we're just going to fire up through the legs a little bit more to finish. We're almost done, guys. So hands in front and have the ball just under your bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to hover, but you're going to leave your butt cheeks just in contact with the ball so it doesn't roll away. but that's pretty much the only reason why we're keeping it just in contact. So coming up, leave your bottom just touching the ball. Watch that your legs, you have good posture here, that your knees are straight over your toes, not rocking in or out. The smaller your ball, the more challenging this one's going to be. So for those of you with the larger ball, you'll be thankful through this one. But just hovering there, there's a gentle draw in through the tummy, and my bottom is just touching the ball, but there is zero weight being put on that ball. And then we sit back down, have a little breather. So we're going to do that 2 more times. So nice little hover squats. So taking the weight forward, lifting your bottom up till your butt cheeks are just touching the surface, just so it doesn't roll away, so you've got a nice seat to come back to. Checking your alignment again. Try and make sure you're putting even weight through both legs. And then coming back down onto the ball. 1 more, guys. We're nearly done. Okay. Leaning forward, up we go. You should be feeling the burn into the legs. They should be feeling nice and warm. But I want you to also feel support from the glutes, so they're squeezing, yeah? Check your posture again, your alignment. Take a nice deep breath. And out. And then coming and sitting back onto the ball. And we're all done.